Samsung Galaxy S7 review. The company that stuck a huge 10x zoom lens on the Galaxy S4 made 7 Gear wearables in less than 3 years and paid Jay-Z $5 million so that it could release his album for free. Well, those days are over. The Galaxy S7 heralds the dawn of a new era. Welcome to the age of sensible Samsung, a smartphone maker of dependable excellence. Its latest flagship handset is the technological equivalent of a Steven Spielberg movie. The whole thing just oozes with quality. Granted, this is not the most exciting gadget of 2016. Compared to LG's G5, the S7 barely registers on the Richter scale of smartphone innovation. It looks almost identical to last year's Galaxy S6, but has a better camera and has brought back the Galaxy S5's water resistance and micro SD card slot. If this all seems a bit boring to you, then fair enough. The S7 doesn't offer an alternative take on Apple's pressure-sensitive 3D Touch Tech or the ability to upgrade your phone with modular wizardry. This smartphone is single-minded in its pursuit of simplicity, and it's this lack of bloat or overreach that serves it so well. The secret to S6. There's no denying that the S7 is a dead ringer for its predecessor. There's a good reason for this though, and it's not just because Samsung wants to riff off the iPhone 6 for a second year running. Well, maybe there's a little bit of that, but the main thing is that people know what the Galaxy S6 looks like and they approve. In an impromptu best smartphone design poll of the Stuff Office, the S7 and S7 Edge trump the competition by a landslide. Compared to the current faceless swath of all-metal phones, its Gorilla Glass and aluminum alloy aesthetic stands out for being something different. For what it's worth, I reckon the iPhone 6s is a more handsome handset, but not by much. Either way, familiarity is a good thing for the S7. Technically, this new Galaxy is 14 grams heavier and 1.1 millimeters thicker than the old S6. You won't notice this added heft when holding the thing though, and that's what's important. Just as the Galaxy S7 is Samsung's first ever flagship to retain the same design as the phone it's replacing, it also features what's basically the same screen tech as before. That means you get a 5.1-inch AMOLED display with a whopping great resolution of 1440 by 2560 pixels. The upshot. Even when holding this thing to your eye, clockwork orange style, you're still not going to spot any of its 577 pixels per inch. Despite effectively being a year old, the S7's display still offers more pictorial detail than both the iPhone 6s and LG G5. Given it's the only smartphone with a dedicated virtual reality platform to support the Gear VR, you'd expect as much. Some more nerdy corners of the internet might wish the S7 had a 4K display to offer an even more immersive VR experience, but they're wrong. As Sony's Xperia Z5 Premium proved, there's simply not enough content to justify the resultant drain on battery life. Besides, the Galaxy S7's display is fantastic already. Screens have always been Samsung's ace in the hole, that's largely thanks to its TV prowess, and the S7 delivers an incredible amount of clarity and detail. Text is pin-sharp whether you're browsing this wonderful website, or other lesser alternatives, and video ain't half bad either. Footage from The Division looked suitably apocalyptic, while BoJack Horseman's pastel colors were bright and inviting. So what's actually new with the S7? Well, its screen does have one trick that's fairly useful for anyone who spends their days chained to an office desk, namely that it's always on. Yes, the S7's display will show you the date, time, your S7's remaining battery life and some notifications, even when you press the power button to lock it. If you don't own a watch and like the idea of having a nice big clock to stare at, it's a gentle boon. No, it won't change the way you use your phone overall, but you'd be amazed at how quickly it'll become essential. Unless you own a watch, then it's almost pointless. You see, this always-on tech only works with Samsung's apps. Even Google's native Android offerings such as Gmail aren't compatible with it, and you can forget about third-party stuff like Facebook and Twitter. As you'd expect, the Galaxy S7 also comes rocking an updated processor. In the UK, we're getting the version with Samsung's own Exynos 8890 and 4GB RAM. That's an update on last year's Exynos 7420 and 3GB RAM combo, and a different arrangement from the Snapdragon 820 processor and 4GB RAM that's going to be available in the US and China. Having not tested the different version of the S7, I can't tell you if there's a difference between the two chips. What I can say is that the Exynos 8890 is fast. I'm talking, make the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs fast. Someone who's less of a workaholic will squeeze even more juice from the S7. Given this new Samsung has a 3000 mAh battery compared to the S6's 2550 mAh effort, its improved performance is no surprise. Even if you get carried away and spend way too much time trying to crack that last Monument Valley level, the S7 has a couple of tricks to make sure you are not caught short for battery life. As with the S6, it'll enable two battery-saving modes when you've got 15% and 5% charge remaining that really make the most of your final drops of power, extending them for up to 2 hours. Plus, the S7 comes packed with a fast charger that will boost you back up to 70% in about 30 minutes. It'll make your phone heat up a little, but the results are totally worth it. You're rarely going to be caught short with this smartphone in hand, and even if that's the case, sensible Samsung still has your back.